or take her down. NBC framed it like a throwback.
I do think the media is prone to do this. The media tends to be very reactionary, and the fans generally get it more than the media. So I want to start with this, J-Mac. The WNBA has arrived. Caitlin Clark's gotten really good really fast. It's like the end of year 1 for Michael Jordan or year 3 for Michael Jordan. She's gotten really good really fast. And you wasn't hurt. She did more trash talking. She hit more threes. She remained remarkable, just like all the great. If you respect women, stop pandering.
As for the flopping talk, NBC brushed it off as part of the game. Jessica pointed out that selling contact is a common strategy. Draw a tech, shift momentum, gain an edge. Nothing new.
You control the game is called the fouls that are actually happening on the floor.
She kind of like hip checked / like pushed Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark fell.
You got to get physical. If you go look at the history of basketball, high school, college, WNBA, NBA, if there's an offensive player, and I said this last year several times, the WNBA is not a vertical league.
Just when it seemed like the Caitlin Clark chaos had finally cooled off, boom, NBC Sports.
I do think the media is prone to do this. The media tends to be very reactionary, and the fans generally get it more than the media. So I want to start with this, J-Mac. The WNBA has arrived. Caitlin Clark's gotten really good really fast. It's like the end of year 1 for Michael Jordan or year 3 for Michael Jordan. She's gotten really good really fast. And you got to put a body on her, or you got to double team her, or she's going to embarrass you. She's shooting 30.
Sports jumps in and turns up the heat. After a game packed with elbows, hip checks, and even an eye poke, the network brushed it off as just a fracas. Seriously? Fans aren't buying that for a second. Was Sophie Cunningham just playing tough, or did she flat out go too far? And why is NBC acting like it's business as usual? This isn't just about one foul. It's about the narrative. She's a phenomenon. From draining deep 33-foot shots to averaging more assists than anyone expected, her game is flashy, fast, and impossible to ignore. They compared her rise to none other than Michael Jordan. Just like MJ's first years, Caitlin's presence has flipped the script. The Fever were at the bottom before she arrived. Now, they're packing arenas, breaking TV ratings, and even outdrawing the Pacers on certain nights. The protection and the power plays shaping the most talked about story in the WNBA right now.
You got to put a body on her. You got to get physical. If you go look at the history of basketball, high school, college, WNBA, NBA, if there's an offensive player and they're humiliating you, Steph, Shaq, MJ, Caitlin, what do? You can't trap her. She'll dribble through it. You got to put a body on.
And I think it's also worth noting the Sun are not the best team in the WNBA. They're actually the worst, if not maybe like the second worst. Like the Dallas Wings are also pretty bad, but the Fever are a championship contender team. So at the end of the game, when most of the starters were out, the Fever were up by 17 points, and Sophie Cunningham decided to prevent JC Sheldon from
been thrown out of the game. Well, she didn't get a technical. It's a little bad boys Pistons with MJ. For the record, Caitlin Clark got up. She wasn't hurt. She did more trash talking. She hit more threes. She remained remarkable, just like all the great. If you respect women, stop pandering.
Caitlin Clark didn't just arrive in the WNBA, she exploded onto the scene. NBC painted the picture clearly. She's not just a rookie.
You got to double team her. You try to get in her head with trash talking. It's not working at all. It's the ultimate compliment, in my opinion.
It's another chaotic Caitlin Clark Wednesday. The arena's buzzing, cameras locked in, and once again, the WNBA steals the spotlight. But this time, it's not her logo-range threes or no-look dimes making headlines.
Got Sophie Cunningham over in a trade for a reason. She's the youngest black belt in the state of Missouri's history, 6 years old. They brought her over to protect Caitlin Clark because they saw this puppy coming. The league doesn't quite know what to do, but the Fever did. And so, again, you got to put a body on her. You got to get physical. Marina Mabry, this is inappropriate, came over, knocked her over. Many thought she should have.
NBC, she was built for this moment. A black belt by age 6, the youngest in Missouri's history, brought to Indiana not just as a player, but as protection. In NBC's eyes, the Fever saw the storm coming. And Sophie, she was their answer. So when things got physical, they weren't surprised. They didn't call it excessive. They called it classic, old school, just basketball.
So like men's basketball, J.C. Sheldon had the task of stopping the latest superstar in her basketball league.
Straight out of the Michael Jordan playbook, the eye poke, the takedown, they likened it to what MJ endured from the bad boy Pistons. Not dirty, they said. Just part of the process. And Sophie Cunningham? According to it's the hits. And who's okay with them? NBC Sports just aired a segment that seemed to downplay the contact, brushing off flagrant fouls and eye jabs like they're part of the hustle. And at the center of the storm, Sophie Cunningham, fired up, going hard, and maybe pushing past the line. So what's really going on here? Is this just the cost of to the old school days when Charles Oakley had Michael Jordan's back?
Marina Mabrey, this is inappropriate, came over, knocked her over. Many thought she should have been thrown out of the game. Well, she didn't get a technical. It's a little bad boys Pistons with MJ. For the record, Caitlin Clark got up. She wasn't hurt. She did more trash talking. She hit more threes. She remained remarkable, just like all the great. If you respect
Being a superstar, or did things go way too far? Let's unpack it.
J.C. Sheldon appeared to poke her in the eye later in the game. Marina Mabrey comes in. Marina Mabrey is a former Notre Dame player, so of course I have to defend her because she's one of my favorites.
Marina Mabrey. She does what Marina Mabrey does, yes.
She's going to
Insert
step
herself.
in and defend.
women, stop pandering.
NBC framed it as a league-wide warning. Come at our star, and we're coming for yours. And the crowd? They weren't outraged. They were hyped, cheering, recording, loving every second. To them, it wasn't dirty, it was drama. It was theater. The WNBA just had its WWE moment. In Indiana, they didn't flinch. They embraced it.
They brought
her teammate, so she kind of like hip checked / like pushed Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark fell. That was a point in the game where, I think J.C. Sheldon got a flagrant one for the eye poke, but then everyone else was assessed technicals. And there may be some criticism that Marina Mabrey should have gotten ejected there. I think, that's certainly up for debate.
It started with a foul, but this wasn't just any whistle. J.C. Sheldon and Caitlin Clark, noting that the same plays being labeled dirty, the eye poke, the hip check, happen in the NBA all the time. But when Caitlin Clark's involved, suddenly it's breaking news. Jessica came to Marina Mabrey's defense, saying she was simply doing what any teammate should, standing up for her own. And Sophie Cunningham? NBC didn't drag her at all. In fact, they made it sound like Indiana knew
something that's part of her game and something that, should be celebrated, as well as her long threes. Like, those are the things that we love in athletes.
After Caitlin Clark took a flagrant foul and an eye poke, Sophie Cunningham answered. Hard, a no-nonsense foul, a takedown. It wasn't subtle, and NBC didn't pretend it was. But they didn't criticize it either. They called it what it was: retaliation, a message, a throwback. Two rivals with Big Ten history had been jawing since the second quarter, and it wasn't friendly banter. Lip readers caught Clark dropping F-bombs, showing just how heated this matchup had become. Then came the spark that lit the fire, a hard reach-in from Sheldon that caught Clark square in the face. The refs called it a flagrant one, but it didn't stop there. In the end, NBC's message was loud and clear. Caitlin Clark doesn't need protection. She just needs room to play her game. Physical, fearless, and unapologetically bold.
She dishes it out, and I think that it's a disservice to her as an athlete to pretend like she can't also take it. Like, I think her being someone who can play really aggressive, hard basketball and competitive basketball and can, smack talk back and forth with other players is...
Enter Marina Mabrey.
She dishes it out, and I think that it's a disservice to her as an athlete to pretend like she can't also take it. Like, I think her being someone who can play really aggressive, hard basketball and competitive basketball and can, smack talk back and forth with other players is something that's part of her game and something that, should be celebrated.
But when players push back, that's not personal. That's basketball. If things go too far, that's what the refs are there for. And in this case, they stepped in when it counted.
Marina Mabry, this is inappropriate, came over, knocked her over. Many thought she should have been thrown out of the game. Well, she did get a technical. It's a little bad boys Pistons with MJ. For the record, Caitlin Clark got up. She
rated as well as her long threes. Like, those are the things that we love in athletes. And so I think that, like, you know, this conversation is sort of spun out of control and like needing to protect her. I don't think if she's going to swear at other players and like get in other players' faces, then like they should be able to get back in her face, and the referee should be able to assess penalties if it goes too far, which is what they did. And
Sophie has simply made herself a star, which she was already famous, but at this point, she hella famous, super famous. She got parody accounts been made on her. Guys, this is lit. But let's head on over to Twitter right now.
NBC didn't sugarcoat it. They admitted Clark plays with fire. She swears, gets in opponents' faces, and brings serious edge to the court.
You know, scoring on a layup, and that's when the fracas began. I would say everything before the fracas was just sort of basketball-y, players, you know, defending their teammates sort of thing, and then the fracas occurred in the fourth quarter, which was, it took, you know, the referees like 10 minutes to decide what to do. They ended up ejecting a bunch of players, including Lindsay Allen, which I don't even know what she looked like she was trying to break it up. It was just very silly. And so
Dan weighed in too.
Again, like, I agree that there's, I think, a conversation to be had about
Clark has become a leading source of content. Or we could talk about Aaron Rodgers. I am for Caitlin Clark. J-Mac texted me last night, the gift that keeps on giving.
NBC Sports didn't pull any punches. From the jump, it was clear. They weren't criticized, isn't just playing. She's shifting the culture. The Fever were bottom tier before she showed up. Now, they're selling out arenas, smashing TV records, and on some nights, even outdrawing the Pacers.
What a damn day we have had so far with Sophie Cunningham. She is standing on business. She's trending everywhere, and now she's retweeting all the drama. So
the hits on Caitlin Clark, they were justifying them. To NBC, this wasn't about dirty play. It was about dominance. Clark didn't just join the WNBA. She blew the doors off. She's already leading nearly every offensive stat, launching deeper threes than Steph Curry did in his MVP prime. Her game doesn't just beat you, it humiliates you. And when that happens, you've got two choices. Trap her, yay. She detonated onto the scene. NBC made it crystal clear. This isn't your average rookie. This is a full-blown phenomenon. From logo range threes to dishing out assists like a seasoned vet, her game is electric, unstoppable, and impossible to tune out. They even drew the ultimate comparison, Michael Jordan. Just like MJ's early days, Caitlin is